The overhead is not working, so you will not be able to see your time. You have to look to your right, to the screen, to the right of the podium to understand how much time you have left. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Cowan. I live at 55.
Can you come up here? I'm sorry. Yeah. You are now authorized.
My name is Cowan. I live at 55 Rivershore Court. I don't talk about none of that. I don't think we should be using any taxpayer dollars to send anybody who's under indictment. Take that money, just an EMS, the sheriff, you run through that round, and just go help over there.
Thank you.
My name is David Norton, 4357 Highway 142 in Newport. First off, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that's up here behind the podium and the people on the sidelines in the background making it all work. On item number 11, every man has his day in court. He is due that. On items concerning the moratorium, I don't remember the number. I would like to see that include commercial also. I know we don't need to stifle someone that wants to open a business, but we need to address issues all at one time, not part now, part later. And it is just temporary. So, and it doesn't affect someone just getting a permit for an area that's already zoned. So I would like to see it also include commercial and industrial in the moratorium for that reason. It's just temporary. A year from now, we can lift the moratorium and move on, hopefully, in a better direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? State your name and address for the record, please.
Cindy Martin, 35 Campbellton Trace. Want to address number 11. I feel like if you've done a crime, then you need to pay it done. Citizens in this county shouldn't have to pay a defense fund for something that he committed. I feel like none of us received any of the $100,000 that he got for his house. So I don't feel like we need to pay for his defense fund. I also 12, 13, 14, 15. Any committee that he's on, I don't think he needs to be on it. I think he needs to be removed. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Ryan Austin. I live here in Newton County at 105 Orchard Lane. I'm a lifelong resident of Newton County. The only time I wasn't living in the county is when I was on active duty in the military for 6 years. I'm here to speak on item number 11. I'm a firm believer that everyone, including Chairman Banes, is innocent until proven guilty. I've dedicated the past 10 years of my life fighting to free the innocent and incarcerated. I work for a nonprofit that does just that. With that said, however, I stand in opposition of any more of my tax dollars, or any tax dollars for that matter, going to fund his legal defense. If he's now claiming to be indigent, which I don't know if he is, he can go down to the public defender's office and apply for an attorney. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Susan Jackson. I live at 110 Wisteria Boulevard. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today as a deeply concerned citizen of Newton County. I am appalled at the situation we find ourselves in. Our chairman, Marcello Banes, has been indicted for criminal activities that have stolen from the very people he was elected to serve. And now, instead of holding him accountable for his actions, we are being asked to foot the bill for his legal defense, using our hard-earned tax dollars. This is an outrage, and I will not be silent. This is not just a matter of mismanagement. This is a betrayal of trust. Chairman Banes has run this county into the ground. He has shown blatant disregard for the needs of this community, making decisions that benefit his own interests while neglecting his duties to the citizens. District 3 in particular has suffered because of his personal vendetta against those who dare to question him. How can we allow a man who has no regard for professional decorum or the well-being of our community continue to drain our resources? Marcello Banes needs to be removed from all boards immediately. His leadership has been nothing but detrimental to the health of this county. No one who is indicted for criminal activity should remain in a position of power, making decisions that impact our lives and futures. We need leadership that prioritizes the citizens, not someone who has abused their position for personal gain. Let me be clear, there's no justification for using taxpayer money to cover the legal expenses of someone who has committed crimes against the very citizens he should be protecting. Our tax dollars should be used to improve our communities, to build schools, parks, and roads. Now, moreover, we need a moratorium on building in this county, and we need it now. Marcello Banes' neglect and inability to grow this county in a healthy and responsible manner have put us in a precarious situation. We cannot continue to expand without proper planning and infrastructure. This reckless growth only serves to exacerbate the issues we are already facing. Overburdened roads, underfunded services, and a county that looks worse every day. Chairman Banes has literally kept important information off the agenda for District 3, not out of a sense of duty to the people, but out of spite and personal vendettas. This kind of behavior is not just unethical, it's a clear abuse of power. And yet, here we are being asked to pay for this offense. This is beyond comprehension. To everyone here today, I ask, where does this end? If we allow this to happen, we are setting a dangerous precedent. We cannot, and we must not, allow our tax dollars to be used to shield corrupt leaders from the consequences of their own actions. Chairman Banes has betrayed the trust of the people. It is time for him to be held accountable and not bailed out by the people he very wronged. Thank you.
Outbursts of applause, you will be removed, I promise you.
Next to Nose Jackson, New County. Now you guys have heard the people speak. The question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to stand with the people, or are you going to stand with corruption? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? That's your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Halima Muhammad. I reside in 10 Millbury, Portugal, and I am speaking in regards to the Dobbs landing preliminary plat. I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that the Water and Sewage Department is currently doing a study to see how much treatment capacity that we have, and I just want you guys to take that into consideration before you vote on that.
Thank you. Anyone else? That portion of my meeting is closed. I want to step back to an item I neglected to go through, and it was the thought for the day, and I'll second that motion. I'll second that motion. And now we're open for discussion. Mr. Tennyson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. So I guess what I was hoping that when we came to the amount of money that you actually put in that amount was that you were asking from the board, whether just give the amount that may be not enough.
Well, right now, we're about 80,000 uncollected, so about $250,000 budget. So we're still going after these uncommitteds that promised money to us, and we haven't gotten it yet.
Thank you. So I guess the next person is new cash. Where would the money come from? We all, when you fund something, where would it come from? So where would the $50,000 come from?
This was not part of the motion, but my suggestion would be to use it, take it from the fund balance, $50,000 from the fund balance.
We can't hear.
Ricky, could you step?
$50,000 taxpayer money for a baseball game.
So if we want to follow through this motion, and we want to do $50,000 for the Miracle League tournament, I do see now on item number 9 it says general fund. So that money is adequate there, correct?
My suggestion would be, my suggestion would be, I don't have a number in front of me because I was not prepared for this, but I do believe that we probably have enough in our contingency in the FY25 budget to pull it from there. But I can verify that for you.
Commissioner Sanders.
This is a hard one for me because everybody knows the kids. And anything, because when we spoke about using funds.
Nelson High can get $10,000.
For taxes, there was an excuse in regards to how we're supposed to use it. So I just want to be fair across the board because I know we have taxpayers that are listening to us like, y'all use that money else without taxes. So I just want to make sure that we are sure that it's coming out of this pot. I think you said you're really sure it's fair to you to make sure you're more prepared. So we need to give her time, and I don't know, I know it's in October, and I know they have a time frame, but we need to give you some time to make sure before we make a vote on where it's coming from.
Okay, can I clarify something real quick? So there's fund balance and then there's contingency.
Okay.
So in the contingency, in the budget, you have a line item called reserve for fiscal year change.
Okay.
So that is specifically for that fiscal year. Fund balance is something that's going to roll year to year. And I believe, and this is just being on the top of my head, so please don't quote me on this, I think we did $150,000 in contingency this year, so we could pull it from that line item.
Now, placing that 150 contingency, which is normally a plan A, plan B, I was probably asking the question. Was that money set aside for particular things or just for anything that we have coming up?
Anything that comes up that we did not expect when we were going through the budget process.
Oh, thank you.
And I will say, anybody who's
Commissioner Cowan made the proposal of $50,000 for a baseball game.
knows that I do not trust anything running around on a whim. I think it's very important. On the financial side, there's going to be a substantial investment in our community anyway with all the families coming here. So I think our net would not be negative $50,000 by any stretch of the imagination for the county, but I think it's a worthwhile cause. And if we're on a tight time frame, so when is our next meeting? If Brittany's comfortable, I'm comfortable. So we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, and not too long, because I too agree that we need to do something for the kids who need help. And there's a lot of kids, and we kind of need glad that we do have some contingency funding. And I'm hoping that the board will look at some of the other items that may be brought to this board and school, trying to help kids in our community with.
Thank you. All in favor? All opposed? 5-0. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much. Can I add one thing?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to step out of bounds here, Mr. Henderson. The most important thing I forgot is we have anywhere from 80 to 100 athletes in the spring and fall play. They're going to be invited to this with their families on Friday and provided food and part of the whole process, the all-star process. And also, when the athletes that come in from all across the country on Saturday, on Sunday afternoon, we're going to play ball with our athletes and love on them and treat them as the all-stars that they are. So this money is going to fund ice creams, slushies, all kind of stuff for them too. So they're included. And so just not leave anybody out.
You might like it, because I served on the big board for almost 24 years. So they changed up the board of commissioners. I know
too. Thank you very much for stepping up. I'll say this was a program or an effort that was very dear to my dad's heart. So thank you very much. All right. The next item on our agenda is now item 9. Facilities Department requests approval of amendment to change.
Good evening, Mr. Vice Chair and Board. As you are all aware, soon after the governor suspended Marcello Banes from the position of Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, we received a request from Mr. Banes seeking the county to pay the defense costs associated with the pending criminal action. Georgia law has a provision that authorizes the county governing authority, which is you, to approve the payment of defense costs for criminal cases brought against a member of the governing authority or any other elected or appointed official when those criminal charges arise from or relate in any way to their duty as a member of the governing authority. The only person, the only group that can answer that question is this board. Neither myself nor Mr. Cooper have the authority to answer the question. The question must be presented to this board for consideration. The question is, does the Board of Commissioners desire for the county to fund defense costs of Mr. Banes in defending the pending criminal cases? That's the request before you. I know there's some business questions to be asked. How much, to whom? We don't know. I can tell you that none of that information is provided to us. I would not begin to guess what it would cost to defend a federal criminal case like this. I would estimate, I'll give you a really broad estimate, more than $75,000, less than $200,000. If you're looking for a number, probably in that range. So we don't know how much is being requested or how much is being sought at this time. And it's left to you. Georgia law authorizes 3 answers to this question. Really 4 answers to this question. Georgia law authorizes you to say, no, there is no legal obligation on your part to pay these costs. Georgia law would authorize you to agree to pay some, if not, but not all of those expenses. Georgia law would authorize you to pay all of the expenses, and Georgia law would also authorize you to defer a decision until the case is over. And in the event of a not guilty verdict or a dismissal of the charges, Georgia law would authorize you to reimburse a portion or all of those fees. So those are the options you have today. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you. You know, in the memo that you, I think, gave to all of us last week, and it made reference to, I think, former Chair Kathy Morgan, and I was on the board at the time, about some road over District 4 that she paid without the approval of the commission, and it went to the grand jury, and I think, I don't remember us voting to give her the attorney fee money, but nevertheless it got paid. The settlement we referenced was myself in the 2016 forensic audit. There was an audit that was brought out in public about myself in Nelson Heights Community Center. And I remember going back and asking questions to, well, how did we go from $500,000 that was told by Dan Sherman, Keith Ellis, $500,000 that was impact fees and SPOSH. How did we go from trying to locate the $500,000 to me? And it was about what happened to the money. And over the years I found out what happened to it. And what happened to it was that it was about $6 million. And then to pay for capital improvements. And under that particular time in the law, we had to separate those two funds. I guess I was the best scapegoat because a lot of attention was made on myself in Nelson Heights. And I remember a few years afterward, and the real thing is, it's all, a few years afterward, I remember Brittany, we were talking, Lord Kerr was the county manager, and he said, we just paid back all the impact fee money that had been used for capital improvements. And I said, what? I said, well, we get authorization. And I didn't find we get authorization, but that lady was kind of no longer one of the former county issues with the past. And my own purpose was, we know how, the board need to know how it was done so that in the future, it wouldn't happen again. But anyway, get back to me in the forensic order. It was sealed on me. And it cost the county about $240,000. And no permit. Anybody ever said that once you give me some kind of attorney at all. But the good news was, and this is going to read about this book right here, that the man that sits up high and looks down low and know where our needs are, and no agency, whether it was a grand jury, or whether it was GBI, or whether it was anything, and I all went through it. It took about 3 years, 4 years. Went through it and sent it back. And when it was found unsealed, I couldn't figure out why the county commissioners that I served on the board sealed something, and I understood the reason why they sealed it. I thought it was so stupid. 3 rolls of toilet paper and some broccoli. They want to seal you the chain ain't for debt. And they gave you Florida days.
I can't understand a damn.
And they sold all that money to do nothing. And then one of these things turned in forensic order was for about a year. They rode past my house over in the hood, and the old white van is still sitting in the front yard. See, it had been moved, it didn't even belong to the county, and they were paying for that. So that's why I'm always trying to figure out how our money is being spent, and we need to know, because that was just money they throw away. How much more good could they have done? That $250,000 they were spent in the neighborhood, getting kids, paying on red ball, whatever the case may be, crime prevention, or whatever. They did that. But I said all this to say this. Nobody ever paid nothing. Nobody asked the taxpayer to give me 1 cent. And I don't know why they sent that lie to the rest of the commissioners, saying like they gave me something. They wasn't trying to give me anything. All they were trying to do with taxpayers' money, give me some time in jail for nothing. So, but I forgave them because I'm a man of God. I said I've been addicted for 30 years. I forgive them and move right on. But that doesn't stop. You know, last time, about a year ago, said that I was released out last night, was for released out. Guess what we just said a month ago? He released out the new building over there, Spring Mall. So let's tell you a whole lot about what's going on. If somebody, I may dislike you, what you say, or your politics, I never would try to do something real bad to you, no reason at all. So I said all that just to say this. If I could go through what I went through, the grand jury, the GBI, the FBI, and come back and not enjoy it, then I think anybody can go through it. But you got to have did nothing wrong. And the faith that I held on to, that I believe in our justices, that if I did something wrong, then I need to go to jail. But if I did nothing, leave me alone. Thank you.
I did have a few questions. I'm going to make a statement. I was just released in the paper from a case that Chairman Banes and Ms. Lindsay is the attorney on this case in regards to defamation of character, because I released a surveillance tape that I've been hoping records from the county. The information was sent to the county. I had to seek out private attorney. Not once the county offered to pay my legal fees, this defamation of character lawsuit came in the capacity of being a commissioner. It was ignored. Nobody said nothing. Nobody did anything. I had to do it on my own. And so this is where I stand. I understand that they paid for this in the past. I'm not sure with all the crimes. I did hear about Ms. Morgan and the crimes that happened during that time and what she might have possibly, I don't think she was indicted. But the county had reached out on my behalf, and this was done in my capacity, not at my consent. The chairman did that. Nothing was put into effect, not without legal assistance, our attorney, reach out, because my attorney reached out to y'all. So, I had to do it on my own. Thank you.
Any other comments? All right. At this time, I will entertain a motion. Well, council, how should you offered, what, 3 or 4 options, right?
A motion to approve the payment of defense costs, a motion to deny the payment of defense costs, or a motion to defer consideration until the criminal case has been disposed. I think those would be the 3 reasonable options.
Commissioners, you have 1 or 3 options to select from for a motion. I'll entertain that motion now. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. You know, these are kind of hard times now. I understand that
Commissioner Henderson, let's wait, we have a second, and then we'll go into. I'll let you.
I understand that. Can I do my motion? I understand, you know, kind of what your order may be at, but I don't know just, if I could,
But you're gonna make a motion.
you can make a motion. You can make a motion. I don't think there's no time, maybe no one making a motion. Okay, now, I understand these are times. Everybody, it's also my understanding that constituents said that there was a public attorney that was, in fact, I had the paperwork, that's still somewhere home. I think Terry probably got it too as well. And there was a public attorney that was given to him by, I guess, the federal government. And so, I think at the very least that we have to go with sometimes. And I have to. I have to lean on myself, but lean on trusting in God for myself. And so we all need faith. And I believe in it. So I said I already said this. I make a motion to deny.
We have a motion to deny on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to deny, a motion, a second on the floor. Any more discussion? All in favor of denial? All opposed?
What?
No. You did it wrong. You did it wrong.
Commissioner Cowan.
Thank you. I'm assuming that the motion to deny is going to be not paying any legal fees, not any reimbursement, is that correct?
That's the motion today. Now, there's nothing that prevents the board in 6 months or 9 months, if the case is disposed of, to reimburse the fees.
So we could revisit this if he is acquitted.
If the case is disposed of in his favor, you won't be permitted to reimburse the fees.
Okay, so if he's acquitted, the case is dismissed or whatever, there's no finding of wrongdoing or anything like that, then we can bring it back and ask for a reimbursement to you for the attorney fees that he's suspended, is that correct?
Georgia law does authorize that, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. We'll move on to item number, I believe we're going to call it 12. We're going to combine 12 through, I think it says 12 through 15, am I correct?
That's correct.
If you would state for us, please.
This would be a resolution to suspend Marcello Banes from the board of the Newton County Industrial Development Authority, the Joint Development Authority of Jasper, Morgan, Newton, and Walton Counties, the Newton County Solid Waste Management Authority, and Viewpoint Health, pending the final disposition of the criminal case. To give you a little background, as we were all aware, the governor has suspended Mr. Banes from the office of chair. Georgia law has a similar provision that allows the governing authority to suspend an indicted official from any position that it appointed it to. This board appointed Mr. Banes to those 4 boards that I just mentioned. It is within your authority now to suspend him from those 4 boards during the pendency of this pending action. When the case ends, if he is acquitted, found not guilty, by operation of law, he will return both to his position as chair and to his position on the board. If he is found guilty, by operation of law, he will be removed from it. So what this does is it matches what the governor has done by suspending him temporarily, pending the outcome of the case, from those 4 boards.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion. You got a question, Commissioner Swore?
Thank you. Would Gators plantation be included too as well, up until he's found innocent or guilty?
No, and here's why. The chairman's authority over Gaither's plantation is a function of the chair. He is no longer the chair. He has no authority over Gaither's, period. So Gaither's reports to the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. Mr. Banes is not necessarily the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. So the staff of Gaither's plantation will answer to either the vice chair or when the new chair is appointed, if the governor appoints a new chair to serve a temporary time, he will be supervised. There is no board to remove him from this spectators.
Well, the follow-up question is when we created the vice chair, I think it was motioned by Commissioner Moore and seconded by myself. It wasn't to set up to plan anything, it was just to sit in for the chair in the event of the absence of a short period of time. It wasn't set up for months. It was set up, maybe for a meeting or two. Similar to, I think, what most of us on the ground board have done. And so I think if we're going to use the vice chair to conduct all the meetings and stuff, then it probably needs to be re-talked about around this particular board because it was not given that power to do what I think we're kind of going to move to it to do.
I don't disagree with that at all. Our hope is that the governor will step in and do what he's required, what he's authorized to do, which is to appoint a new chair. That authority rests with the governor. If he doesn't do it, then we're going to have to figure out a way to go on. We don't have any authority within this room to appoint a new chair. We are left with the governor making an appointment or this board deciding upon itself how we're going to do with the role. I don't mind saying, I expect Mr. Edwards has got to say, he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to continue this role any longer than absolutely necessary.
I'll just add that I check the governor's executive order website every 30 minutes. So, additionally, I put as much pressure on the governor's office as through the people I know, which is not very many. I thought we would have something by now, but we don't, so we'll continue to limp. And I do mean limp along. So I do not want to sit here, I want to sit right there. So with that, do we have a we don't have a motion yet, do we? No. So I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Newton County, Georgia, suspending Marcello Banes from the boards of the Newton County Industrial Development Authority, the Board of the Newton County Solid Waste Management Authority, the Board of Viewpoint Health, and the Board of the Joint Development Authority of Jasper, Morgan, Newton, and Walton County.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Mr. Henderson?
Well, just let me say this, so I'll be clear for the people who may hear what we said, is that if former Chairman Baines is found innocent, then I'll come back up and conduct the meetings or whatever during this elected time. But until then, we're trying to move in the direction towards trying to move this board along, conduct meetings as best we can, and up until somebody either brought back or we have to put somebody in.
Commissioner Sanders.
I just have a quick question. Who will, I know we kind of talked about this daily, but who will be appointed, as I mentioned? It doesn't have to be a commissioner, it doesn't have to be the chair of some of these boards, it could be any elected official based on the bylaws. So is our next step our next meeting or this meeting to appoint somebody in the meantime until the governor moves forward. Because at this point, that means there's no representation on some of these boards. I think he represents Newton County. So there will be no representation from Newton, so what will we be doing in the meantime?
Right, so that'll be up to the board. Whatever step you take next will be up to the board. We didn't include the appointment of the new persons in this resolution. Didn't appear that the board was ready for that. I would urge you to collectively, individually start thinking about that. I do think there is some wisdom in waiting to see if the new chair is appointed. But also, you have to balance that out against exactly the point you made. How long do you want to go with that chair empty each other? So I think that's a balancing act. Whatever this board elects to do, will.
Let me just add too, and I think you guys have probably noticed over the last couple of meetings that we're trying to eat the apple one bite at a time, right? But you cannot ignore the fact that we have a citizen urgency on some of these boards. So there'll be a prioritization process, and then we have to move forward with appointments. Hopefully that's for the new chairman in the next meeting, or interim chairman in the next meeting, but maybe the next meeting, I don't know. But I do understand the sense of urgency. The boards have reached, some of those boards have reached out to me, and I've explained to them that just what I said, we're trying to eat this apple a little bit at a time. We don't want to have any knee-jerk, but we're trying to not stall, but we're also trying to give the governor his ample time. But at some point, we can't give him any more time. We'll have to move forward. So that's kind of where we are. No excuses. The sense of urgency is there. There will be a prioritization process, and we'll move forward with no matter what the governor does. So, any other questions? We have one for the second. All right. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? All right, I believe that moves us to comments. Item number 16. Citizens have 3 minutes to comment. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, it's Carol Woodward again from Broadwood Subdivision, District 3. As far as the reappointments, we are all living in terrible economic times. Those of us that are retired and only get paid maybe $20,000 to $30,000 a year, which is probably most of the folks that pay off salaries, we want you to tighten up your belt too. There is no reason why we even need a chairman position. I'm sorry. And if you think that Kemp is going to put in Ellis when he didn't even get the position, we're going to fight on that one too. Okay? And let's go back to transparency, because I've been in front of this board for years. I know you know who I am. And I've lost my temper multiple times, and I apologize for that. I get tired of not being heard. I get so tired. I get so tired of listening to blathering on, wanting to jump around on agenda items. You had already answered his question about doing the water testing. But we got to sit here and listen to more of that droning on. And it's almost 10 o'clock, and it's a school night, okay? So, and then also $350,000 per mile to resurface roadways. I'm in the wrong business, y'all. I want you to look at that. And I also want to know how you came up with the roads that got fixed. Because I'm seeing a lot of residential communities out here. My subdivision hasn't been paid since I've been in here. And it's all cracked up. And we pay a lot of taxes, okay? I'm not saying that we deserve better treatment. I'm just saying we pay a lot of taxes, okay? And I am tired of seeing you guys sit up here and write a check here and write a check there when it's my money to pay. And then you have a budget that you have a carryover of millions of dollars? Holy crap, how do you do a budget? You need some finance education, because that's not how you run a budget. You don't just put money in a slush fund and say, I'll use it later. Because that's how y'all get busted. That's how you get federally indicted. Okay? And as far as paying attorney's fees, I think that if the chairman is exonerated, yes, we do owe him a thing. But if any one of you does a criminal act wearing your commissioner's cap, and it's based on your own poor choices and your own foul cronyism, it's on you. Okay? So if we find out that he's implicated, or any of y'all are implicated, based on your own personal actions, it should not come out of my pocket. It should come out of yours. That's what we pay for. Okay? putting it on the website, I've asked you since the very beginning. I told you that has got plenty of the bandwidth. I talked about transparency when I was up there the very first time. It doesn't take much for you to put an agenda out there. Everything you look at, I should be able to see in ahead of time. I also should see printed minutes. So when I go back and search for something that I've repeatedly asked for, and y'all don't even put it on the agenda, you don't even call me back. You know, I've copied every one of you in, and you just ignore me because you think I'm rude or that I don't deserve to be here. Well, you know what? I'm a professional woman. I retired after 30 years, and I didn't behave the way any of y'all did, okay? Because I wouldn't have kept a job. If the chairman had done what he had done, working for any other amusement company, he would have been fired on the spot.
I just want to say that we were asked to pay for legal fees, and we're not looking for an admission of guilt or innocence from Chairman Banes, but regardless, there's been no apology to the citizens because this is what shame upon our county. It just makes us look really foolish, like that there's this much like mismanagement. So that's one point I wanted to just make because I was waiting for something to be said as far as an apology. Next thing, we have been waiting in District 3 for a park. And tonight we discussed how important children are to our community. It would be good to have a park in that community. I know that in the past, some properties have been looked at, and I'm wondering why we can't revisit that again, because it would be helpful, because District 3, as all of you know, is the most populous district. Therefore, there are a lot of kids, and they need some place to go. So please, add that to the agenda. Oh, and one more point. I'm very happy about the moratorium tonight. I think that the way that the board is now working is really pleasing because I never used to come to these meetings in person. I used to watch them on YouTube and be disappointed by the behavior I saw. But now that I see everyone working together collaboratively, it's impressive, and I hope it keeps going. Thank you.
Thank you.
District. I too was coming about the West Side Community Youth Center to see if we cannot get that put back on the agenda. For the last month, all we've heard about is Spring Hill and how wonderful it is and the people enjoy it and you're so proud of your accomplishments. We would like to be proud of the accomplishments in District 3. So please put that back on the agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I grew up in this town. I've been having business a long time in this town, and when those grants went through, I did all the paperwork, and I had susceptibility, and I hadn't did any criminal activity in this town, and I just kind of feel some kind of way because I didn't get a dime out of the grant or nothing, but now we're sitting here talking about, giving somebody some money that's, might be involved in criminal activity. I feel like I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan Singleton, District 3. I just wanted to say that I understand that everyone's going to make the decisions that they're going to make right now. And I saw what was going on with the resurfacing of the roads and the budget and everything. I've been here a very, 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 very long time, majority of my life. And I just want to say that when it comes to the youth as well, I understand that there's a conversation about the park and everything else. I also believe that if you're going to be doing I see the construction that's going on. Sidewalks are very important. So when it comes to the communities and the families that are in, I live right there. And I see that a lot of the people who try to walk in that area, there's no sidewalks available all completely down Kirkland Road. So if you're going to do anything, I would just say the sidewalks will go very, very long. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Susan Jackson.
District 3, now District 2. Okay, everybody say walkable, bikeable neighborhoods. Walkable, bikeable neighborhoods. Walkable, bikeable neighborhoods. I'm going to ask that to put on the agenda West Side Park and sidewalks, walkable, bikeable neighborhoods. I made a call to Chester Clay regarding the hot mess of the roundabout that they have on whatever that is, Kirkland. I advised him that I would like a sidewalk from Kirkland all the way to Newton County High School and a sidewalk on from Newton, this is Board of Education. I'm saying all that to say our conversation, he felt indifferent. I didn't get any resolution. I honestly believe that whole department needs an audit. Okay, it needs an audit. There's no way that roundabout should have taken that long and been such a hot mess. I also want to address the YouTube that we see from Newton County and ask for it to be time stamped with the agenda items, so citizens do not have to look at the whole meeting to get the part of the agenda that they need. Also, our website is a hot mess. It looks like my, I guess, a 6th grader did as a project, okay? Also, I want to address the Brown Bridge Road in Salem. That corner is my baby. That CVS, that Walgreens, that Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, Goodyear, and Walmart. I've been preaching to them about cutting that grass and keeping those curbs clean. I tagged you in the Facebook. I have yet to get a response. I have called Walmart and so on. It is imperative that our big businesses that are in our county take care of their property, and because what that does is it brings down our property value. Okay, and I have to tell whoever's visiting my house, listen, come down the Brown Bridge, go to that ragged behind Walgreens. Okay, you're gonna pass a ragged behind Walmart, and you keep on going down and you see me. Okay, I don't want to say that. And the district managers get tired of me calling. I believe as an elected official, this is your district. Don't you drive past there? Did you not see Walmart, that grass?
Ma'am, address me.
Okay. Yes, and did you walk drive by that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Use your influence, okay? Use your influence for that. Also, one other thing I believe is the agenda of this board is to wear us out as citizens. Yes. I don't have time to come up here and tell you what I need every single time. Do what I let you do so I can do what I need to do. You need more tax revenue, you need more things, let me do that. I should not have to come up here time and time again to tell you the same old thing over and over and over again.
Thank you,
I see y'all just having a field day with myself. Y'all having a field day, it's so funny. And then another thing, Mom, who you working for? Camilla Harris or us? You know, you been missing 2 days.
Both.
Get 2 days.
Ma'am, please address me.
Well, why is he working 2 jobs? And ain't doing nothing with his house. Ain't doing nothing with District 2. Nothing. And then I thought y'all had to vote. I thought y'all had to vote on that. How did y'all vote on putting that skate ramp out there and did y'all? Because he sure put it out there. But he was complaining about Commissioner Sanders spending money. How much you gonna spend? He ain't doing nothing. Y'all rallying out money. Y'all ain't said nothing about the senior citizens. Y'all got so much money. Or the applications y'all took. Or y'all gonna go back and redo those houses. Or y'all gonna do that? Because y'all got plenty of money. Y'all got clay bond, remember? Y'all got all that. So what you gonna do? We the citizens. We want to know. We got a right to know. Y'all want to build all these apartments. Salem Road is a hot mess. A hot mess. And I say off Misto Road. Yes, it is. It's a hot mess. Y'all talking about 4 line. It ain't gonna be no 4 line. Y'all not gonna take those people's property. Yep. Y'all not gonna take those people's property. That's what you gonna do. Roll your eyes. I do it too. You're very disrespectful. And like you said, y'all need to get a new chair. And we need to know how our money is spent. Not know that lawyer, when I was convicted of felony, nobody will come give me no money. Nobody. So what you gonna spend our taxpayer money? Anybody believe he guilty? He ain't guilty. Let them write their check to them. But our money, we write it to the county. What we been doing. No, he don't need our money. He stole enough. Let her be his defense attorney. Stephanie, they collaborate together, work together. Ain't that how I go? Maybe you need to get on your job or come back. Yeah.
Thank you.
You sure are.
Anybody else?
Good evening, Board. I'm U.S. United States Marine Corps veteran. My name is J.L. Skelton. I stay in Broadleaf, Southern District 3.
What was your name?
J.L. Skelton. My point is to say this. I've been in several meetings and I've been hearing all the things that are being built. I hope we are watching the builders as well as the inspectors, because I come from Michigan and I see them shotgun townhouses and they're not worth a darn when they build because they don't have firewalls. I hope we're checking that, because I don't want none of y'all conscience to be hurt if something break out in these new developments of fire and we lose people and kids. That's an important thing to me. I was an engineer in the Marine Corps, so I know about building. And everyone I'm looking at, I don't see no firewall, no cinder blocks, the drywall is cheap, it's not worth it, it'll burn up in a second. So these are some of the things that I've been listening to. And I think that's something we need to start investigating and being more secure about what we're building in Newton County. Because what we're building in Newton County is just 5 blocks. One go up, 20 go down. And we need to really look into that. Whoever the inspectors are, they need to be on their JOB. Thank you for canceling that money for Marcello Banes. Because we don't need to pay for it. And in the Marine Corps, once you found guilty or found not guilty or under investigation, all pay stop, everything ranks is gone, you get stripped of everything. And I think that's what I'm glad y'all decided to do that. Please strip him of everything. And if we need to investigate him and file charges for Newton County against him, I think that needs to take place next, after the federal government gets through with it. I done seen a lot of corruption in Michigan, and I don't want to see that since I moved here in Newton County 20-something years ago. I seen corruption. We put him in, he went to Texas, he in Texas right now, a corrupt man. I don't need to see no corrupt commissioners. So let's get that out the way. And as an attorney, I heard what you said, the choices, shouldn't be no choices. No more seating for Marcello Banes. No more money, no more accolades, no more nothing. Period. Now thank you for doing that today. Because I didn't want to hear or read about it or see it no more. I don't want to tell my veteran friends that live outside of here about I want to tell them about the good things about Newton. And I know about a shotgun house. These townhouses are shotguns. Ready to burn and kindle. That's all they're going to do. So I hope we get some better inspectors going up in them. Because if you can hear somebody next door, nobody will hear the arguments going on next door. And that's what's being built. Thank you.
Well, I'm back, and I want to address Mr. Cowan and Mr. about Mr. Banes. You know, we don't care about what you do in your personal life. That's your business. But don't bring your personal life and put it on the taxpayer. Okay? Don't bring whatever you're doing out there criminal. Don't bring it back to us. Because we do not want to pay for your mistakes out there. Now, you want to do whatever and hire whoever, that's your business. Because if you want to take our tax dollars and give it to Mr. Banes, but we got Newton County Jail over there. Everybody over there jail was a step over down. So if you're going to take our tax dollars and go over there and help them too, that's the same thing as you do.
Stony Valley Hospital. All right, I want to applaud y'all for your vote and denying that you pay his lawyer and whatnot fees. I was wondering though, during all, until he is determined whether he's guilty or not guilty, we pay his salary. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
We're paying his salary that entire time, going on now, throughout until we determine. Now, if we have to hire another, somebody to replace him, then we'll have to pay his salary as well, right? So we'll be paying two salaries while he's being decided whether he's innocent or guilty. So I agree, thank y'all so much for doing that, because my tax dollars, my property tax, my everything is going up. I appreciate it, and I applaud y'all for that, and I hope I've seen a difference from the time I've been coming to these meetings since about March, and I am really happy with what I'm seeing up here now. Y'all are really working together now.
Please.
Denise Williams, the Newton County resident. I sent an email to the board with my issues and concerns, but it was one thing that I did not get answered. I noticed that you all took them off the IDA, the JDA, the solid waste, and all those boards. But I want to know, how long is he going to continue to do business on the vending contract in Newton County with the solid waste authority and hauling for the county? When will those contracts be removed as well? Because he should have never, ever been doing business with the county as a sitting chair. So I guess this is legal, and if I need to do an open record request, I will, but I want confirmation that he is not doing any type of business with Newton County in no capacity.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, Mr. Cowan. We'll start with you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. I've been on this board for 8 years. It seems like, and my wife often tells me, JC said, why you fighting this about every other night, a month, every first and third Tuesday, trying to fight for the rights of every citizen, and it seems like it's kind of just dragged. That's well, that's something I asked for. And what we're fighting for now is just for the civil right for our children to have somewhere to play. You build a building, it's vacant. And it's vacant because they came up and said, well, you lease out the building. And that's what the county does to building. Lease them out. So you make rules and you change them. And so, but I'm hoping that Commissioner Cowan and myself and Mr. Sanders and Stan and we get together, go back up last night and put down the reparation. I don't want to go back over it because it's just too much of a distraction from other things that happen in the county. And can you think of how many people who may want to have leased the building, can't lease it? How many members in the community who have passed, can't have a free pass in their own community? And then the crimes that they're committing out in the field. Now, I don't know where some of these people come from, but we believe when you're not using it, close it up, lock it up, take care of it. But unfortunately, we don't come from the same community that I came from. And I was born and raised here in Newton County. Transparency. We got to just stop talking about transparency and be transparent.
Yeah.
We're not transparent. We got to be transparent. Don't just pay $500,000 for training everybody to be transparent like we today. Then we came down here, and then when it comes to it, we're not transparent.
We'll fix it, JC.
I'm trying to. Let's see if you no help.
Work
If you feel no help, we'll make it transparent.
Sorry, Stan.
And the
Just trying to move along.
Thank you. You make me feel community. We're tired of all these taxes. I'm tired tired of double taxing the city government. I'm tired of it. There's no reason why we should continue to be taxed. We got money. It's so lit this evening. So hey, it's time for a change out. Only you can make that change.
Oh, yes.
And we better start now.
We're trying.
Thank you.
We want to vote for all of them.
Mr. Sanders.
Just to expound a little bit on what Commissioner Anderson was saying, I'm thankful and excited to see Newton County residents coming out and speaking out. This is your government. We just sit in these seats because you put us here. We don't own and operate, we don't even own our public records, they're your records, they're the public record. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for opening up your heart to speak. And don't be afraid to speak about something that you see that's not right in your community. You have that right to do so, so thank you for that. I just came back from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which was great. I was invited from Local Progress to attend a Progressive Governance Academy with state reps, which is also state rep from Georgia, also state reps from various other areas, and also other elected officials. And what progressive leaders are, and you only can be invited to this conference unless you are a progressive leader. That means that people who actually speak out for the counties or wherever government they're in and don't mind fighting. And that basically we get the backlash. And they help us through that, to get through it. And so everybody that was invited to that conference are known as progressive leaders all over the United States, from the local level to the state level. August 24th, I partnered with the Department of Community Affairs. It will be held at the West Side Precinct at 11 o'clock. It is the Georgia Dream Program, home buyers down payment assistance program that the Department of Community Affairs has in effect. And I partnered with them to bring that to Newton because we have too many people here paying $2,000 a month for rent when you could be putting that towards a house. And so my goal is to encourage home ownership. I was encouraged that by my parents when I grew up in a home that was purchased. So I never thought of renting. I bought my first house at 21 years old. So I never thought in my mind to rent. I always thought home ownership. So I would love to instill that into certain communities. A lot of people don't know. They grow up thinking about they can own a home. So the Department of Community Affairs will be here this Saturday, West Side Precinct at 11 o'clock. And they have money, they have ways that can assist you. There will also be, the loan office will be there as well as a home buyer and down payment assistance program this Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanders. I have nothing, Commissioner Bates.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to first address the gentleman that talked about the builders. I know that is definitely something that I've personally been working towards in District 2. As a matter of fact, we just had a meeting last night with a community or subdivision in District 2 along with the builders. We want to make sure that we are holding the builders accountable that are coming into our community and making sure that they are providing us with quality product. Even the gentleman that talked about the sidewalks, that was one of the main issues that this community had. This community has homes starting at $400,000. Now they're coming in doing the second phase. Those homes are going to be anywhere between $700,000 to $800,000, but they don't have any sidewalks. And so we want to make sure that, if that's something that this community desires, that they actually get that. And sidewalks are important. And I think it's something that's needed all around the county, not in just specific area, but I think it's something that we should definitely, this board could consider and talk about more. The subject matter has been brought up before in the past, but we can definitely revisit that as well. I wanted to address the skate park in District 2. When that skate park came about in District 2, it was back in 2020 during COVID, and I just so happened to be walking at Denny Dobbs Park. And as I was walking, I saw some kids in the parking lot that were actually riding on their skateboards in the parking lot. And I've told this story before, but I'll revisit it again since it was brought up. And so I went to those young people and I introduced myself and I said, my name is Commissioner Mason. I see you all out here skating in the parking lot, which really isn't that safe because you got cars coming in and out. Would you all be interested in a skate park? Because that had been presented to me as an option
by our Parks and Recs department. They said, of course I would. We would love to have one. And so I said, well, I have a little bit of money that was set aside from SLOSS. And so I'm open to, if that's something that you want, then I'm open to doing that. We moved forward, we got that skate park for the kids. If you go out there at any given time, you will see that skate park filled on a daily basis, on a regular basis. Now, am I personally gonna go out there and skate? No, I'm not. But that doesn't mean that I don't provide things for those youth that are gonna go out there and skate. So, yes, we did that. Also, when it comes to me not being here at this particular desk, for those who may or may not know, this is a part-time role, and so it is not enough funds to actually take care of my family. I have a wife and 4 children, and so I have to go out and run another business or take on another job so that I can generate revenue to take care of my family, because the citizens of this community have stated that this is a part-time role with part-time pay. And so I have to supplement my income. And so when you don't see me here, it is not because I'm intentionally not being here, it's because I'm somewhere working to provide for my family, just like you all are working to provide for yours. So yes, this is a duty that I have, and this is a responsibility that I have, and you're going to see me here most of the time. But if you ever see me out, you'll know that I'm either away at a conference where I'm trying to get information to help enhance this community, or I'm working. Thank you, Mr. Bashir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we have a need for executive session for this time. I'll entertain a motion.
Come on, y'all, let's go. Leave the whole night.
We have a motion.
Hey, what is it?
All in favor?